Grand Rising Soul. Grand Rising, where am I at? What day is this? Good evening, Soul Tribe. Tracy here, Sweet Spot E-Magazine. Thank you so very much for the likes, shares, views, subscribes, comments, everything. I appreciate it all. We're going to ring this bell. We're going to go ahead and clear out the energy, and then we'll just see what the message the Spirit has for us. It's a different ring. It's like the wind is blowing differently. Somebody wants to talk to you. I feel like somebody's very humbled because it's like they lost everything. Bottom of the deck. Death. Something is over. Like I said, somebody lost everything, and I feel like they're very humbled, and they wanna come talk to you. They wanna, now that they're ready to share. And it may not necessarily be money. I feel like this person is really ready to share, to really talk about what's going on. Yeah, because it's like something happened. They never expected it. This happened faster than the shit that they did to you. You know what I'm saying? This is somebody who wants to come and they want to tell you the truth. They feel like they should honor you with the truth, with clarity. This is somebody who's had some time to think about, and they're using logic now. But it's not just that they're using logic now. It's almost like they feel like they have to reach out to you. They need to reach out to you because I feel like you're the only one that they can turn to. Hey, Saida. And somebody's watching them. This witch is watching them. You know? I feel like this witch is watching them to see if any of their magic spell still exists. But it doesn't. It's over. Somebody has been safely delivered. And now they're standing by themselves. They are happy to be standing by themselves because I feel like a big sigh of relief. You know, whenever you've been through so much, you can tell when you've been through so much because your shoulders are like this, like you can't relax. I feel like it now, this person can finally relax because they know the only way for them to go is with truth. Not only that, but someone is being true to themselves. Because, you know, when they was with this demonic energy, this karmic energy, they weren't happy. They were not happy. They could admit that now, that, you know what, they made a stupid mistake. They made a real. Well, we're back. Hey, Queen Memoirs, how are you? This is so strange. It's like everything was spinning. Well, I couldn't see it was spinning. It was just a message. And I tried closing it down. It didn't want to end. So I shut the computer down and brought it back up and hit reconnect. And here we are. So we'll just continue. This thing, this computer, I could choke the shit out of it. But yeah, somebody knows that whatever they're going through, it's justified. It's like it's it's karma. They know that they deserve that because of the way that they treated you, the way that they decided that they was going to end something. You know, this person thought that they was going to just be cold with you, but they're not realizing how it ended up. See, somebody they thought that they had something in the bag, you know, like they were secure, their home life was secure, everything was secure. But then, you know, it's like something happened and things weren't so secure anymore. It's almost like somebody, they were caught sleeping, slipping, and tripping because they thought the person that they left you for, the one that they trusted over you, was going to give them their wish fulfillment. They thought that was going to be the one that they was going to get everything that they could ever wanted. But what they found out was that was just somebody who purposely got in the middle of you and them and then caused chaos, caused all types of trouble. And it wasn't just with you, it was with their job, it was with their confidence, it was with their friends, it was with everything, every facet of their life. That's what they did. Hey, high priestess. And so they know that this judgment call where you walked away, that was justified. That's what they call, that's what you get. And then they were like sitting here after you left. It's like I said, I feel like somebody, they lost everything. They had to leave. And then here they are sitting in the park underneath the tree. That's the only place that they have for shelter, trying to figure out what they're going to do. Like, how did they not see this coming? What red flags did they miss? All of them. All of them. Because then this person, they had to start completely over from scratch. They lost everything. And what this person was thinking about was like they thought that they was going to do something, like they was going to get something, like they was going to be able to have something, you know, they were going to start anew, this fiery something, like maybe this house in the background. They thought that they was going to get that house, you know, and all they had to do was just stay the course with this person, this new person, and it was going to have that house. It was going to take a while, you know, but they was going to get it, only to find out, boom, dreams exploded. Was it the dreams exploded, or was it the nightmare finally materialized? And next thing you know, they were trying to figure out what they could do. They were trying to, that, you know, it's like all of a sudden this person had to scramble and get some things together. They had to, you know, get the money that they normally use over here to pay bills. They had to all of a sudden get a storage, put some stuff in storage. They had to try and find a hotel room. They had to try and do this. They had to try and do that. But yet they still had to make their car note, their insurance. They still had to buy food. They still had to do this. They still had to go to work. They still had to do this. Still had to do that. So it was like all of a sudden everything exploded in this person's life. They feel like somebody owes them an apology because somebody sure did give them a lie. You know, and they even tried discussing things with this person that they chose over you. Well, who they was working with, they tried not discussing, they got into an argument. But it didn't make a difference because it ended up the same. With a broken heart and still not knowing what the hell they were going to do. This is when somebody They learned this lesson. They had to learn this lesson. If they didn't learn nothing else, they learned this lesson. And like I said, it's like they wasn't using their intuition. They didn't see that things were not adding up, that they were just putting in, they was investing, but they wasn't getting anything out. Not a thing. And every penny that they put in, that just went to somebody else, went for their benefit. And this person didn't get a damn thing out of it. Nothing. And what they did get was the stress of trying to figure out where they're going to go next, and the fact that they don't have any more money. This person feels like a fool. They feel stupid because they stabbed you in your back. They tried to end you, and you was the one that was helping them. You was the one that was by their side. But see, somebody said, oh, look, my status is better. I'm an emperor. Like they wanted them to believe they had all this money, all this gold, all this land, all these jewels, all these animals. Like they had so much, because what they wanted was that person to start being defensive against you. And when it came down to it, you were the only one that was actually holding something. This other person was holding something too. An apple, and they lovingly had their hand on their rod. And that's all they cared about was their stuff. So somebody started being defensive towards you. And they're thinking, of all the people that they did this to, of all the ideas they had, of all the goof ups, of all the mistakes, someone understands now that they went against their lineage. They went against who was on their side. Only to find out that this warlock was going to ghost them. And they was waiting for somebody this warlock to give them something. But no, they ghosted them and they turned their back and kept on going. Somebody sees something totally different now. Now they understand what comes around goes around. Now they get it. Even at this person's job, somebody was even trying to destroy this person's job by spreading these false rumors, lies, saying, oh, this person, this person, that, blah, 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 trying to put it out there about their sex life and their romantic life, who they see it and everything. They was trying to really put their business out in the street. But see, somehow, some way, this person, they heard about that return to sender. And that was their only recourse. That was the only thing this person could think to do, was to say, I return all of this to the sender, where it came from. Sender or senders. And then it's like all of a sudden, they felt like a lightness. They felt like they were, receiving help. They felt like they were all of a sudden, like that God's, maybe they were sitting, like I said, sitting in the park under this tree, but maybe the way that the sun was coming in, all of a sudden the light shone directly on them. And it's like it gave them an idea of where they actually need to be. They need to be with you. This King of Cups is thinking about all the lies that they said. And they said all these lies against you, the truth teller, but they was just being really immature, and they know that that shit was not even the truth. They was just acting immature. And when this person really thought about it and remembered the past, remember things that you said, remember ways that you acted, how you was a leader, how you didn't ever short this person, how you wasn't perfect, but you made sure that you looked out for this person. You made sure that that person had, that they weren't skipping a beat, that they weren't needing. And when they thought about it and they remembered it, they couldn't help but remember what type of leader you were. How you always offered that cup of love. But for whatever reason, that person thought that money was more important than love. But now they see that, you're different. You removed yourself. You're protected. Your confirmation, you're protected, and that person is burdened. Burdened thinking about how they tried to put all these burdens on you, but you took them and you made them like they were some type of force field, some way to protect you, because you knew what was going on. Now this person, they want to travel to you. They want to see you because you were their family. And they know this, but they also know that they are in a position that they put themselves in. They're in a position where they need help. They need some serious help. I don't know if you just want to talk to them, guide them. But this person, they're going to use, they said they can they'll use all the help that they can get. Something about this King of Cups. And this King of Cups may be looking at you. You don't know that they're watching you, but they are watching you. This could be from a fake account or something else. And now they realize the importance of love, because they said money is only going to get you so far. And you can have this one day and lose it the next day, but this stays. Somebody regrets the day that they were spreading this bullshit about you. They regret the day that they even used your name in vain. And they feel like this is why they're receiving this, why they are left out in the cold. Mm-hmm. What else, Spirit? Thank you. Yeah, somebody cannot sleep because they're thinking about everything, how they was fighting you, how they was trying to take you down. They can't get this out of their head. How somebody was willing to strike you down, how they was willing to do whatever they could, and they was doing this for a while, but they never thought, after all this time, they never thought that their life would explode one day, that they would lose everything. Not them. You couldn't have told this person that. You couldn't have sold this person on that nightmare, on that dream. Nothing told them that they would be trying to juggle their money. They would be trying to make ends meet. You couldn't have told them nothing like that. But that high life that they thought that they was living, that shit is over. Just like that relationship that they left you for, that they felt was more important than you. That shit is over. What's the message, Spirit? Yeah. All because of the devil. All because somebody was a follower. All because they didn't think that you would ever amount to anything. They didn't think that you would ever get what you needed. You know, this is what somebody told them. Oh, they'll never get it. They'll never get it. Only to find out, boy, did you get it. You came out victorious. And they came out feeling like a loser. What's the message? Oh, thank you so very much, Queen Memoirs. Thank you. I really appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very much. Hola, Marcia. Buenas noches. How is Rio? What's the message? Thank you, Queen. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate you so very much. Thank you. What's the message? Yeah, somebody, now that it's like, you know, a lot of things that you would tell them, you would say to them. At that time, they was like, yeah, whatever, thinking that you didn't know what you was talking about. But now they realize you knew everything that you was talking about. That's why you stood by yourself. That's why you stood alone. Because you would rather be alone than with the bullshit. They thought it was because you couldn't get along with anybody. Isn't that funny? They thought you could not get along with anybody, only to find out as everything goes around and karma starts hitting everybody, you was protecting yourself. Not that you was coming out there starting nothing. You were protecting yourself. It was other people that was fucking with you. Somebody, they knew what they was doing whenever they was trying to infiltrate this family. They knew what they was doing. They wanted this person. This person is waking up to realize that they wanted somebody to turn their back on somebody else. That's what they wanted. Now somebody gets it. Now they get it. They said, I just need to get these two to turn their back on each other. And then that's whenever I win. Because like I said, somebody thought that they was getting a whole house until that horn blew. Then they realized, no, somebody was going to come in and do them the same way. And it was them that had to leave. They had to get the hell out. This is why this person wants to apologize to you, because they know that you would not have done that. You too strong for that. You're not even that type of person. You would have never kicked somebody out. You would have gave them an opportunity. But see, you know what? This person could be remembering a time that the person that just kicked them out, you may have helped that person, but that because that person wasn't doing right, like paying bills, helping to clean, being responsible, being respectful, that type of shit. That's why you may have told that person, you got to go. And so they said they made it their undying or their goal that they was either going to get you back or they was going to get somebody back that you love. But either way, this motherfucker said they's going to seek revenge. Someone understands that now. You told this person, protect yourself. Don't do this. Don't go that way, because somebody does not mean you any good. They only mean to harm you. But they couldn't see that. Hey, AJ. They couldn't hear that. They didn't want to believe it, but they believe it now. Yeah. They just wanted to disrupt this relationship. They didn't give a fuck what happened to that person afterwards. They didn't give a fuck. What's the message? To them, to that devil, it was just all about revenge. It's all about the get back. They wanted to disrupt a whole family. Somebody's thinking about that now. How somebody felt like they was going to come in and bully and take over and do this and cause that. They're thinking about that now. Somebody, how this person tried to act like they was just all knowing, all seeing, all this, all that. Like they just had it all going on, only to find out they didn't. They didn't want this person to succeed. They never wanted somebody that's connected to you to succeed. They always planned for somebody, whether it was you, or whether it was this other person. They always planned for one of y'all to be out in the fucking cold. You knew to walk away. That other person, they thought it was safe to stay. Hey, Earth sign. Somebody wants to come. They want to bring you an apology. They want to ask for your forgiveness. They want to talk to you. They just want, they want to get on the right foot. They want to beg for your forgiveness if they can. Because this they remembering with you was peace. With you was tranquility. They were happy with you. You was truthful with them. They didn't have to worry about, this happening or that happening. They didn't have to worry about you would have been there to support them. But somebody else wanted to put an end to all their dreams, all their wishes. Everything that this person worked hard for, somebody tried to end it. Like I said, they even tried to start some shit at their job. And they just got this job. What's the message? Something is over. I feel like this person, they really should protect themselves against this person. They should turn their back and just put their guard up because they can't trust them. They cannot trust them. Like I said, somebody they just wanted, you to turn your back. And this is a realization. Somebody realized they had everything they needed when they was with you. They had everything. Like, you had a good name. You had a good reputation. You had a strong foundation. You had someone that loved you. You had someone that cared for you, someone that was willing to sacrifice for you, somebody that was willing to help you heal, somebody that told you, because they could see it, to hold back, to not go towards this person because they told you your money is not going to, you're going to lose everything. But they didn't want to listen. And now here we are. Now here we are. And it's funny. It's like this couple. It wasn't just one person. It was a couple that was against you. This could have been somebody's parents. It's like these two were against you from the start. And now things are going against them. But these people, these two, because these two mess not just with you to make your life hell, but they also mess with yours. God said, touch not my anointed. And they did. They don't know what's coming back, but they know that something is coming back, and they're afraid. They're very afraid, as they should be. Somebody wants to, they want to, one of them, either the king or the queen of wands, wants to come and they want to test the temperature. Hey, what's going on? Just to see, are you still in warrior mode? Do you still have your guards up? Or what's going on? Or are they going to be in and get close enough to really take you down, to really snake you? You're covered. By the blood of Jesus, you were covered. Yep. All you have to do is just remember to keep your back turned to this warlock. Just remember to protect yourself. Now that you have the knowledge, protect yourself. Hey, Kung Fu Panda, how are you? Right. See, this person, they thought that they was going to be able to take out an earth angel. This emperor did. Because you know what? This emperor tried to do the same thing to you. They tried to do the same thing to you. Everything that this person is going through, the job, the opportunities, the lies, because that emperor didn't want you to be seen as the empress. They tried to do the same thing to you. And now they getting that message. They open up their eyes. They're able to see clearly now. And they see that it was because they put themselves in a position easily bought. Easily bought. This is how they got in this position. How they cursed their own family by being easily purchased. Now somebody needs your help to get out of this. Because they know that when it comes to sage advice, the truth, when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to faith, when it comes to them receiving the best advice of what they need to do, there's only one person that they can go to, and that's you. They tried to act like they didn't know why you walked away. That's at least what they told their friends. And anybody that asked them, I don't know why they left. And they would make up something. But trust and believe. Now that they're in this same position, they would have left too. Somebody's going to come to you. They want to come to you. They want to tell you about what's going on. They want to tell you why they don't have any money left. They want to tell you that they should have, put their ego to the side and they pride to the side and listen to what you was trying to say every time that you tried to tell them, because you tried to tell them more than once. But they was just so enamored and glamored by somebody who didn't have a motherfucking thing. And now this person is trying to figure out what they thought they saw in that person. Especially all the money that they blew. All the money that they just gave the fuck away. Like this person knows that they should have never thought that that was the best plan. They should have never went that fucking direction. This person knows that they should have just stopped for a moment and really listened to what you were saying and then use their own senses to figure out if it fit the situation, because then they would have never been in this position where they're going to have to come and ask you for help. Not that they mind at this point, because you know what, this could be your child. This could be your child. So not that they mind, but at the same time, everything is out in the open. And they know about how it was whenever it was you and them. That other motherfucker was not there. They wasn't there when you was paying the bills, when you was buying clothes, when you was buying shoes, food, none of that. The other motherfucker was not there. So how they thought somebody else had a bigger or a better status than you is beyond anybody's comprehension. They knew that you saw the exact truth into this group, into whoever they thought was their friends, was they homies, was the ones who was going to be standing 10 toes down. And now they see they didn't even stand. They didn't even put a fucking toe in the water. What's the message? Not a toe in the fucking water for them, let alone 10 toes down. Yes, I am in the big chair, earth sign. Truth. Somebody should have listened to the truth. They're awake now. They're awake, and I feel like this person is receiving guidance from God. God's telling them what they need to do to get that crown back. And this person's wondering, if they can actually do it. They can, but they're going to have some courage. They're going to have to live a righteous life. They're going to have to listen to what God says. They're going to have to stop being stubborn. They're going to have to stop acting like they're stupid. They're going to have to stop being a follower. They're going to have to learn what a leader is. And you know what? They're going to have to know that when someone says something to you, instead of taking it and going with it, they're going to have to check shit out for themselves. That's what they're going to have to do. What's the message? Thank you. Yes. I feel like God is giving them another opportunity to balance shit out with you. God is gracing them, blessing them with his most high grace to give somebody another opportunity to get some shit right. With you. What's the message? Yeah. Because see, even though you walked away, someone doesn't want this to be over. They do not want this to be over at all. They refuse it to be over because they said they have something for you. They need to show you the love. They need to show you appreciation. They need to show you gratitude. They need to show you that that they walk through that door to spirit, to personal healing and happiness, and that they are ready to get it right. This person is ready to let you know that, hey, they know that it's cool to have friends and everything, but you know what, as far as putting all your investment and feeling like those friends can meet those needs that you were the only one that could meet, they know that's a big no-no. Because nobody could do it like you. Couldn't nobody offer it like you? Was nobody trying to assist like you or help like you? Or even they was only trying to be like you until they saw that you left. And once they saw that you left, they was like, kick them out. Get rid of her. Sorry. I no longer feel comfortable with you here. Sorry. You need to be homeless. Oops. Sorry. But they know you would have never done that. And they even feel ashamed. They feel ashamed. Because that's what they were trying to do to you. And you know it. They don't want this to be over. They want to take that opportunity to get things right with you, to make things right with you. They don't want this to be over. Not at all. Bottom of the deck. Rebound. Somebody went to this other person looking for something. They thought that they was going to, get everything that they needed, but they found that they was just a rebound. Somebody that was just avoiding loneliness. That was it. A quick replacement just to forget. But then something happened. They saw that something was repeating. The same way that it happened to you, it was happening to them. Deja vu. With the same person. Deja vu. With that same person, because that other person only wanted a status upgrade. They didn't want nothing, but they surely had a hidden agenda, They wanted somebody to swipe right. Like they was making the best choice. Only to find out that somebody was concealing them true selves. They didn't think that anybody could see the real them. But you told this person. You said trust me, that's not how you want to go. That's not the direction that you want to take. You will be sorry if you go that way. But this person, they didn't want to listen because they thought they was just going to be living the luxury life, baby. Only to find out that they was just in something where they was going to regret that. And they was looking at you. And they saw you by yourself. And they thought, like you were just going to be lonely for the rest of your life. But you wasn't. You just wasn't settling. You was like a situational single person. That just meant that you were single because you wanted to be. You was just not going to settle. Only to find out that, and somebody even, they got involved in some like unreciprocated, relationship, and somebody tried to, like they thought it was something better, but then they found out that somebody was trying to friend zone them. And they're sitting there trying to figure out how you went through this. But you had to show them that you was unbreakable. They didn't know that. They didn't know that you was already in your safe space. And the reason that you was taking time for yourself is so that you could recharge. Not so that you can go out blazing. I gotta find somebody. Hey, are you single? Okay. You are or you're not? Well, it don't make a difference. Come on over here. No, that wasn't you at all. This person was with somebody in a toxic love relationship, and the person that they was trying to be with had a poker face. They couldn't, even if this person was happy, sad, pissed off, they was trying to plan something, like they tried to cover their emotions so you couldn't tell. But you walking away, them kicking that person out. You know, that was divine intervention, because they really were saved from an energy vampire. That energy vampire had already taken everything that they had. So their only choice was to go to God. And that's whenever they started to ascend. Once they started to ascend, that's when they knew they needed to put closure, on these soul contracts, on these karmic relationships. They needed to put closure to them. What's the message? Yep, somebody thought they was going to be living the luxury life. And they thought you was going to be alone for the rest of your life, but you was just purposely being single. Somebody thought that they could sugarcoat some shit, like while they're trying to hide their true feelings. This person didn't even like this person seriously. They was just lying the whole time. The whole time. What's the message? Did I tell you to get up off your bed? Go on in there. Get on that bed. She's in trouble. What's the message? Yeah. And the thing is, this person thought that you was going to be holding that grudge. You already let it go. You had already let it go. You was sitting here securing your bag, working on yourself, working on your money. And then this other person, they thought they was throwing something out at you only for them to get that big payback. Now they're looking at you, making money moves. You healed your inner child. And like I said, it's all divine intervention. This person watching you, trying to hide their true emotions, and they hiding while you still in hustle mode. They can't measure up to you. They thought you was going to be trying to compete with them. No. Who the fuck has time to that? It's you versus you. You was trying to compete with yourself, the old you to the new you. That's all you wanted to do. I feel like this person, maybe they met this person on a blind date, and there was already some commitment issues, seriously. And everything with this person was like a false alarm. Everything was, oh my gosh, it was, overreacting to everything. Much ado about nothing. They didn't realize these red flags, though. But now that they see that there were serious red flags, they know they needed to do some shadow work. They realized that they was just with this two-faced ass clout chaser who was only really interested in a situationship. This is when somebody realized they should have put up some better boundaries. Not better, they should have put up some boundaries. Even whenever somebody tried to, they created a false account. you know, and they tried to send you like a direct message, or they was trying to reach out to you to test the waters. You pay, you just, ignored it. You was like just taking care of you, worrying about you. You was like, I don't know this number, and you didn't answer it. You didn't want to answer this shit. You know, someone thought that if they ghosted you, that it was really gonna hurt you. If they left you unread, it was really gonna hurt you. Not at all. Once again, all you did was look at yourself, work on yourself, think about yourself, getting your money, and ascend. That was it. The next thing you know, they had a glow up. You had a glow up. And not only did you have a glow up, but you were speaking up about some shit. There was no need for you to sit here and be not talk about how somebody was sitting here trying to breadcrumb you and catfish you. You know, how somebody was fake around you. No, you were speaking up about that. And this person, let me tell you something, not just this person, but the one that they went with, and then the one that was, everybody else that was involved, they see you, they know they can't touch you because now you are, out here brand new, looking like you brand new. And this is a person who's like a secret admirer now. They can't stop watching you now. You know, they were sitting there telling everybody that you was fake flexing, but everybody had to disagree because they said, no. This person is actually self-made. That we watched him come up from the floor up. We watched her pull it up out the mud. They know that you are self-made. Ain't no fake flexing. Somebody's thinking about, the soul memory, the past life of how they were so, it's like this is not your first life together. It's not your second life together, but this is something that somebody's coming to understand or realize that you've had several past lives together. And this time, God said, damn it, get this shit right. Yeah. Somebody wanted to send this person a Photoshop photo, to make it seem like they weren't, like they took they took a picture of them and then they, photoshopped it, whatever, to make themselves look a lot better than what they really looked like. And then on top of that, it was like they were sitting here spreading gossip and shit behind this fake photo, behind this fake persona about you. Now, I know I just told you to go get in that bed. I am not playing with you. Yeah, this person is sitting here watching you, in this CEO energy. It's like all of a sudden, you got a big break. And they trying to act like they so unbothered, but they are very bothered, especially now since it's cuffing season. Especially since this person ain't got shit where else to go. They very bothered, But once again, they have to look at themselves, about these altered truths that they were sitting there spreading. Somebody told them that they was going to give them some money on payday. They fucking lied. They ain't get shit. Somebody has to face themselves in the mirror and think about what it was that they partook in. This is whenever they need to get a safe space and recharge themselves and heal from this toxic love sneaky link. Because this shit couldn't have been good. But I'm going to tell you one thing. If they learned a lesson, And they did learn a lesson. The lesson that they learned is that you are unbreakable. What else, Spirit? Yep. Somebody, I'm telling you, they are acting like they are got spilling the tea, behind a fake account. Only because they want to have some type of influencer status. But somebody else is at a crossroads. They're at a crossroads because that person it was no good for them. It's like now they're trying to love bomb them to come back or to stay. But this person is like, hopefully this person is sitting here saying, no, it's time for me to go. But somebody's really triggered right now. They're really triggered right now because those sugar-coated words, nobody's believing their lies anymore. And nobody believes in their lies anymore. Someone is just having to really get themselves together after believing the lies and getting fucked up because they believe some lies. This side piece thought that they was going to be an overnight success, messing you guys up, that they was going to step in your role and be an overnight success, like they was going to have some retirement goals. Sorry, baby, that's not how it's happening. Somebody realizing that somebody put some closure to this karmic relationship, especially after being gaslit by this energy vampire, and especially since they knew that this shit had happened to you. This was deja vu. This was divine intervention that God said, now see here, you see what's happening to you? Think about it. Who else did that happen to? And this person is like, damn, this shit just happened to Collective. Exactly. What's the message, Spirit? Hey, Feral Wolf Dog, how are you? Oh, Feral Wolf Dog, Native American. Hello. Yes. Somebody that's with this toxic love, now they realize it's time for them to break this cycle. And they are breaking this cycle. Yep. Instead of them believing everything that they hear, they're not going to do that anymore. They learned this lesson. And they won't ever unlearn this lesson. What else, Spirit? We're going to pull something from the stack. What else, Spirit? Yep, they were warned. But see, now this person is realizing that had they not betrayed you, and then had they not gotten betrayed by the person that they betrayed you for, they would have never gotten on their journey. And like I said, all that false shit is falling down fast. Talk about a tower moment. All because somebody was a follower. This is something that could have happened, started in July. Like I said, this could have been your child, and if so, your child is confused. But they have to remember that they chose this shit, even though you tried to tell them to redirect, that they didn't want to do that, which is why everything is over. They had to cut ties with this entire coven. They had to realize that that everyone in that entire coven was karmic. They couldn't keep in touch with nobody. None of them were their friends. That's what they had to realize. They had to wake the hell up. Mm-hmm. See, now it makes sense. Now that they think about it, and always trying to fit in cost them dearly. Cost them everything that they had. But see, they don't even know how you evaded their schemes. They have no idea how you evaded their schemes. Hey, J. Mike, I feel like something is getting ready to happen this February coming up. Something is getting ready to happen. And they're pressed about you. What else, Spirit? What else, Spirit? You no longer care. This person is looking like a whole clown trying to hold you back. They was looking like a whole clown trying to hold you back. And they're stuck in the place that they wanted you to be. But they had to learn the absolute truth about themselves, though. That's part of the lesson. Hey, Alicia, that is part of the lesson. Like I said, if this was involving your child had to learn a big lesson about respect and honest dialogue. But they finally woke the fuck up. Yep. Something about March, and we saw that King and Queen of Wands. Could have been some parents called you weak. They called you weak. But you know what? They're the ones that's on this 10-year curse right now that they cannot get out of, and that's for attacking you when you was innocent, because you didn't do anything to them. Jim Mike said 222 and 55. What's the message, Spirit? Anything else from this deck? Anything else? They're getting what they deserve. They know that. They know that. You see, their karma's coming back as legal issues, and your name has been cleared. And I guess that's it. I guess with these. Yep. We saw that. There was a low vibing energy vampire there. But their jealousy outweighed their common sense. And here they are, trying to fuck with you. But you already realized that they was a karmic. So there was not much that they could really do. But y'all, I'm going to leave that right there. Thank you so very much. I really, truly appreciate all of you. Queen Memoirs, thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate you. I appreciate everyone. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down for the evening. I need to go ahead and take care of Sasha. She was BAD today, so I have to make sure that she learns that lesson because we don't want to have to go through this again. All right, y'all. Alicia, I love you more. Pharaoh Wolf Dog, good night. J Mike, thanks for joining us. Same with everyone else. Queen Memoirs, thank you. Earth Sign, it was so good seeing you. AJ, wonderful seeing you. Marcia, say hello to Rio for me. All right. And High Priestess, thank you so very much. Saida, thank you. I appreciate you all. All right. And I will see you all in the morning. I love you all. Let's pray for each other. Guidance, protection, and assistance. And God's love. Good night.